Welcome to the revolution.
Welcome to
Gonna be a
Cackling in
thing.
the Void, where Kaylee plays with her hair.
Listen, shut the fuck up. Sometimes your bangs don't cooperate.
Welcome to Cackling in the Void.
I'm Kaylee,
I'm Ashley.
and let's see if the void echoes back today.
Ready to finish off this book, Kaylee?
I am. I'm very, very excited.
Look at us finishing our first book.
I know, which is, I think, why I am so excited, because I'm like, oh my gosh, guys, thanks for joining us on our very fun chapter, very fun first book.
I
Yay.
know, it's like we still are doing the bonus chapters, so there is another episode after this
Yes.
about the book. But
Well, there's
like the
gonna
fact that
be two more, because we're gonna
that
do
is
our
true, we do
bonus
have a
chapters
debrief.
and then our debrief and things like that. So
Yeah, but it's just
I'm
wild
very
that we're
excited.
done with the first book after today, pretty much. We're done with the
Yes.
major, like the actual story. Now we're just doing the side stuff.
Mhm. I know.
So
So
excited. I am baffled that we're here already. I feel like we just started literally like 3 weeks ago. But no, we haven't. We've actually released more than 3 episodes.
we've released a lot, and I'm very excited.
I have. Look at us.
Yay.
So, round of applause for Kaylee. She's doing great.
Round of applause for Ashley. She's doing great.
See, I can't wait to see where this podcast goes and just how we're going to continue because books, and you go into a different book. So, I mean, we're going to continue the series, but you know what I mean.
Uh, but today, because we are ending it, we are now on chapter 36 to 39.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Crazy.
Would you like to start us off, Kaylee?
Yes. So now we are starting off with chapter 36. And if we remember from the last chapters, we are in the border town of.
Gosh, why is my brain really just turned off? I want to say Terrence, but I know that's wrong. Why is my brain off? Door. Aspbean.
There it is.
There it was. I apologize. I've been at school for 8 hours straight.
Good job. Good job. Good job.
Thank you.
That
I
was
got
the
that.
pop
I did
quiz
it.
for Ashley. She did pass.
I did
It was
pass.
multiple choice, and she was just reading the
I was just
answers
reading the
aloud.
list.
So there you go.
Exactly.
And they are being tested about their loyalties and whether or not they are going to abandon that post and leave the city, or if they are going to stay there and fight the upcoming. Ashley, it's so early. Ashley, I haven't even finished the introduction. Ashley. It's okay. She's had a long day. But now from here on out, I'm still gonna say it. It doesn't matter. Ashley's gonna yawn so many times, and I'm gonna every time. It's because I'm so boring. I forget about it. It's me.
Yes, obviously. So boring.
And Liam at the top of the guard tower sees that there are venom coming from the valley.
And,
I think that it's so interesting. I think that it's so interesting that Liam is the first one to see them, and then the plan really starts to formulate, and we see Zayden really take charge.
Liam has farsight, so he can kind of see down into the back.
Mhm. Yes, because of his signet, that's why he's the first one seeing them.
Okay, I
But I
thought you
was
were
just
confused.
saying that huh?
I thought you were confused. You're like, oh, like it's interesting how Liam saw it first. I was like, because he has farsight. I am confused. Never
No,
mind, we are confused.
I was not confused. Ashley got confused because Ashley got confused.
Sounds about right.
It's different. It's different. Crazy kid.
I know. It's okay.
I also no, Ashley, please go
No,
for
no,
it.
please continue. Continue, please continue.
Also, the fact that we actually got to see the Griffin writers really give them a choice. Really, really give them a choice of, hey, leave now or you won't have another chance to leave because the battle would have already started. And if you're going to help us, then come help us. But if you're going to leave, now's the time to leave.
Yeah, and I really like how, this entire book we've heard about these Griffin Riders and we're finally seeing them after
Hmm.
34 chapters. Like, I'm very excited that we're finally seeing them
Hmm.
and we're seeing them not in the way Navarre sees them. It's such a different spin on it, and I really do like how this book did that. In my debrief, I will go over some more things, but I mean, I could say just I could see this coming. Like I could see the rebellion coming. Like it wasn't a shock to me when Zayden was like, "Oh, we're doing the rebellion again." But I think it was done in a very good way because it is from Violet's point of view. We s- we felt the shock with her, but you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Hmm.
Like I knew it was going to be coming, but it still was shocking because we felt it from Violet, and I think it was written very well in that aspect.
Definitely, I would agree with you in the fact that we kind of, like you were saying, lived in her shock and awe of these Griffin riders that are now here and just completely standing on business. And it's like, you either leave now or you stay here and now you're going to fully be involved and there's no denying it.
Yeah, and how the Griffin Riders are very much like, she's not going to be helping us. She's a sorry girl. Why would she help us?
I agree. The fact that her last name, even within the quadrant, and we're seeing outside of the quadrant, is affecting her character so much.
And it's interesting because for me, I actually was thinking about it. I was like, it's really interesting because in the quadrant and in Navarre, Ryerson is such a bad. Oh my gosh, what the fuck? You need to stay away from a Ryerson. But then outside of Navarre and outside of the border, it's the opposite. Stay away from the Sorengale. The Sorengale isn't. We don't like them, so it's really like the opposite.
Mhm.
Find it interesting.
And even now, with the Griffin writers giving them a choice, Xaden still gives the entire squad a choice
Because
and breaks it
he
down
opens that
again.
letter.
Hmm.
Yeah, and he opens that letter in the last chapter, and Garrick reads it. Sorry, Garrick reads it, and the letter is basically saying, "Hey, it's testing Zayden and his command. Are you going to go and fly the actual war games and do as you're supposed to as you're training for Navarre, or are you gonna die saving the village of your enemy?" And so it's
Hmm.
testing Zayden and his loyalty. And they even openly say like they're testing it without saying it. They don't want it to actually seem like they're testing your loyalty. They're testing your loyalty, and like that's a bit creepy. And also the Venin are creepy because they have purple robes on and distended red veins spidering all around bright red, like of their eyeballs, and their eyes are also bright red. So like there's red eyes with red veins, and it's creepy. Like openly, it's like, that's creepy.
Sounds very scary. Ooh, scary. Ooh, scary. I also love that Xaden says a line openly as he's giving his squad a choice and says, the reason why I'm basically giving you a choice is because I think that you deserve to have a say in how you die. I've already chosen my battles, I've already chosen my death, and I don't care about what I do, but you deserve a choice. You don't get to blindly follow me into battle and get potentially slaughtered if you don't want to. You don't have to do that. This isn't a full, like, I'm in charge, leader, command, I'm a general sending you to war. That they that he gives them the option of how they die and when they want to die, which I thought was very poetic.
Yeah, and it fits the theme of the book for sure, especially with, like you said, like Xaden signing what they have to do with the rest of their lives. He doesn't want to dictate it more than he already does, like you said.
Mhm.
Yeah, and so then all of them do choose to stay, and they're like, "Hey, we choose this. You are not dictating us, but you are our wing leader, so please, can you tell us what to do? Like, give us
Mhm.
direction at least. But yes, we are staying because we want to fight for what's right." Violet also ends up staying, and she's like, "I want to defend. I've been following the wrong chain of command, and I wanted to start defending what I should have been."
Even with that, she says that she really does believe in saving all innocence. It's not necessarily that she's following the wrong chain of command all the time. I think that it comes from more of the idea of her own moral compass is now conflicting with the order and the conduct that the college, I'm gonna say college, is showing and portraying.
And they are all going in knowing they're gonna die. Like it's just for a fact. They're like, "We're gonna die."
Mhm.
And the Griffin Riders do even say, "You guys don't need to do this." Like what? And they're actually asking Violet questions about Venom, and then she kind of starts talking about these wyvern that are dragons that are created by Venom. Like they're their mounts instead of dragons. They're wyvern, which have arms for wings and then back legs, but they don't have like four legs. That's the difference between a wyvern and a dragon.
Um, are you 110% positive?
Yes.
Because when you
Yes, I
said that
am.
they have arms for wings,
Yeah, yeah, like
that was very
you
confusing.
know, you know the monstrous nightmare from How to Train Your Dragon? The one that catches itself on fire.
Yes, I do.
Hold on. Could have just typed in Hookman.
You could have. I feel like I know
Okay,
what a
like this dragon.
wyvern looks like. I'm very confused about the way that you described it.
Yes, 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 yes.
Because
I
you're
know, but
right,
I'm
they
using this
only
as my
have back
example.
legs and they have wings
Like
and they have little
wings.
like
Their
clawy
hands are on their
things.
wings.
Yes.
Like their wyvern. Their arms are their wings.
Yes, but it's just weird the way that you're saying it. Like I I don't know if you could openly say that their arms are their wings like that. It's just
They have claws on the end. That's how they walk. So
no, I
hands. Therefore arms fly.
okay. Yes.
It makes
Yes.
sense in brain. It makes
I
sense in my
love
brain.
makes sense. I love makes sense in your brain. Kaylee brain have hard time computing. Ashley brain sometime. And
That's okay.
I know what you're looking at. I know what they look like. It's just openly confusing
Comment down below if you
when you
think I am
describe.
confusing. So,
We
and they're
actually
asking
really
her,
need I was gonna say, I was like, we actually really need the D&D fandom to explain that to me. In D&D terms, please, because if you do it in D&D terms, I'm gonna know. But Ashley
Ashley terms.
Ashley terms or How to Train Your Dragon terms, I'm so sorry, guys. I should know more
Those aren't
about it,
even
I
how to train your
guess,
dragon
but
terms. That's all me. That is
great.
all
Then
me.
just Ashley terms sounds weird.
Don't throw
Please
how to train your
explain
dragon under the
differently.
bus for me being dumb.
Okay. She said it, not me. She said it, not me.
So they're asking Violet the questions because, Violet actually knew of them from the
Mhm.
fables from her father and everything like that. But she's like, ooh, I really hope these wyvern things aren't real. And then they fly overhead.
Uh,
She's just like, oh, I hope these aren't real. And they're like, what are those? And she's like, those are wyvern. We don't like those. And, their goal is just to save as many people as they can. And now the Venom are flying. And they're like, well, fuck. That makes
mhm.
things a bit more complicated, but it's fine. We can do it. And, as they're all kind of like looking out on the ridge line, out into the valley and into the village, and Sigale like speaks to Violet and goes, I knew you'd make the right choice. And he did too. Even if he doesn't like you putting yourself in danger, he knew you would.
I also kind of loved that Violet immediately was like, I really don't give a shit about your approval. I'm doing this because this is right. And then immediately turns to Zayd and is like, I hate that I love you. Just, I kind of, I felt like Violet has been a little bit more in the beginning of the book was a little bit more wanting Sigale's approval, and then once she got it, she was like, "I don't need it. I don't want it anymore, and I'm doing this because I am right, not because of his influence or your influence."
Yeah. And Sigale does even say she's like, you're a far cry from the trembling girl who stood in the courtyard and tried to mask her fear after parapet. I approve. And she does say, I wasn't asking for your approval.
Mhm.
So I do like that. Like you said, like I like how she is doing this because she thinks it's right and she knows it's right and it's not for anybody's approval. It's because it's the right thing to do. And then she doesn't want Andarna going into this fight because she's a baby and she's literally a beacon for everything and everybody. And so she's, hey, and has to prep her like, if we're not back by morning, you need to fly home, fly back to the Vale. And she's like, what? Like, and Darna's really upset about it. She's like, I don't want to leave you. And Violet's like, you'll know when you need to leave. And I think that's really sad that she's just like, oh, and Darna, and Darna, you'll know when you need to leave. Like she'll just know. And I'm like, that's so sad. Like imagine being a baby and experiencing that. That'd be really sad.
Yes, but as Taryn has, like, stated previously, that humans do not dictate the thoughts or feelings of dragons, and Darna had the capability to bond, I think she's able to possess the capability to understand what is happening.
For sure. I agree. But it'd still
But
be
I
sad.
also
Like I mean,
yes.
it's sad for any dragon. Like just we saw it with Claude,
Mhm.
Amber's dragon.
Amber Mavis's.
We saw it with her dragon and just like the screaming, like, and that's the
Mhm.
adult dragon.
That is true, and the fact that there is no history of a baby dragon bonding, let alone experiencing the death of a rider or the death of an older dragon that she bonded with, because it is almost like her and Taryn are bonded.
And so she goes and hides. And Darna goes and hides because she's I do understand the point of view of like she is a beacon.
Mhm.
She is a bright golden dragon. She's a beacon. And the smart thing for her to do is hide. Because even if she's out helping and like she's doing fine, not just for her safety, but the safety of everybody, she'll just bring. Be like, hello, we are here because she's a golden dragon and sun reflects and all of the things. So I very much understand the point of view of you need to hide. Let's not all die. You know?
I was also thinking about this, and I wonder if Taryn does really push her to go hide because him and Sigale are concerned what would happen if the venom got hold of a Feathertail.
Mm,
Because
that's
openly,
interesting.
oh, sorry, openly they have said that they hide, Feathertails from humans. They hide Feathertails from Griffins. They hide Feathertails from everybody until they are mature enough to no longer be called Feathertails.
Yeah, and ooh, what would happen if a venom got a hold of Feathertails?
But I also wonder if that's because that Feathertails could be corrupted, possibly,
Ooh. Ooh.
and
Please
or
explain.
be sucked dry and used as magical, like similarly to the earth, how like the venom drain the earth,
Mm, mm, mm,
because
mm, mm. Yes, yes, yes.
Feathertails are like
Oh,
untapped,
like the
unsourced
venom will
magic.
corrupt them.
Yes, the venom will corrupt them, not that they will
I thought you
become
meant that
corrupt into
Feathertails.
becoming a venom. Yes, does that make
Thank you.
sense?
I thought you meant like, yeah, yeah. I thought you meant venom. No, no, so sorry. That Feathertails were already inherently corrupt, and I was like, please explain. I am a bit lost.
No, that the venom could use Feathertails as a almost like a captured source of magic,
Oh,
because
that'd be really
Feathertails
interesting.
possessed wild, untapped magic,
Yeah, because they
which they
can't control
lose
it.
over time as they grow. Mhm.
Yeah. And also, like you said, like they can't defend themselves, or as we've seen, because Andarna literally doesn't even have claws. She has paws. She
I know,
can't
it's so
breathe fire.
cute.
It's
She's
so
so
cute.
cute. She
And
a
she can't
little
breathe fire.
fluffy little paw. Her cute.
She doesn't
Okay.
have claws. She only has paws. Like
Paws.
paws. So she is literally defenseless. I'm so sorry. And that is interesting. I do wonder if Venom would capture them for that untapped wild magic. Stop. That is so interesting. I
Just
am
something to think
intrigued.
about.
Just something to think about. Wow, that's so I like that. I like that theory. I'm here for that theory. Ugh, I'm
Because
here for it.
also,
Anyway, I don't want them to be eaten and killed. Hold on, let me reiterate. I do not want this to
absolutely.
happen. But I am here for listening to the theories.
Mhm. We'll come back to that theory because I actually have more to say about it later, but
Stop.
we'll
I'm
talk
so
about it
excited.
later.
Okay, okay. That's later in the podcast, so tune back in whenever we
Later in
talk
the
about it. So you just have
podcast.
to keep listening.
Mhm.
So, then Taryn and Violet were just talking, and Violet is I just thought this was really funny, was, they've created like, Taryn's like, "Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah," and kinda just reinstating that Wyvern are created by Venom, and Violet's like, "Oh, did you know?" And he's like, "I suspected. Why do you think I've been so hard on you during flying maneuvers?" And Violet just goes, "You and I need to have, or oh my gosh, so sorry. You and I are going to have to work on our communication skills." I just love the fact that this girl has like the balls to talk back to a fire-breathing dragon that can eat her in one bite.
Absolutely. I also enjoy that she is still feeling very betrayed by Taryn and Andarna. Like she said earlier, you did lie. Even if it was a lie by omission, it's still a lie.
And I do love how Taryn agrees. And like I like this small teaching moment for Undarna. It's like, "Oh, but like we didn't mean to." And he's like, "No, like that is a lie by omission, golden one."
Mhm.
Like I am so sorry. I love how he calls them like little one, silver one, golden one, wing leader. Like I like the nicknames. He never has he ever called her Violet except for when he first met her.
No, he's really only ever called her Silver One.
Like yeah, and that's the only time and he like, even in
And he's
stressful situations,
Mhm.
it's still silver one, and I love it. I love it so much. It's so cute. I love Taryn.
And he actually didn't even call her by her name. She just asked, "Do you not need to know my name?" And he was like, "Everybody knows who you are, Violet Sorengale. It's not that fucking hard."
That is true. And so back onto where we are in the book, they are told, "Okay, go for the throat of the wyvern.
Mhm.
Snap their necks, go for the throat. That is how we're gonna kill them." And he and Violet sorry, Xaden goes and talks with Xaden, and Xaden is like she's
I'm
like,
so
"Are you
sorry.
gonna
You said
try?"
Zayden goes to talk to Zayden, is what you
I'm
said,
sorry.
but I don't think that that's what you meant.
Xaden goes to talk with Violet and is like, and Violet openly is like, "You're not gonna lecture me to stay in this outpost, are you?" He looks at her and he's like, "You're not. If I asked you to stay, would you?" And she's like, "No." And he's like, "Then why would I? Like, I'm not gonna try to pick fights I won't win." And I really like that. But I also love like you could see she very much compares Xaden to, which we all know I love Dane, but he definitely would have made her stay in that outpost. And I really like but it is like her first initial instinct is he's gonna act like Dane. That's why she was scared to tell him about Amber. Because she thought he wouldn't believe her, because Dane didn't believe her. You know what I mean? Like she really compares him, and like her initial reaction is she thinks he's gonna do what Dane does. Even though I love him.
I agree with you. I think that she does do a lot of comparison between them. I also think it's because Dane is the only close to her age male, I don't want to say male figure, but like male person in her
Representative?
life. Yeah, yeah,
I don't know
male
if that's any better.
representative of her peers that she's known for the longest. And I think I think she did get scared in a way that I just exposed, like, talking in war terms, I just like rolled over on my back, or I just rolled over on like my back and showed you my belly and exposed my entire throat. And you're saying that you've been lying to me, and there's no way you're justifying it so that I'm gonna feel secure. currently at this point in time, I think she has a lot to process, but it is quite interesting how she immediately compares him to Dane in her head, which is why she's like, "Are you gonna ask me to stay in this outpost, or are you going to stick with your word and push me like you've done every step of the way through us training and being together and things like that?" You know what I mean?
He stays to his word, he lets her go and fight with them. And he doesn't make her
Mhm.
go stay in those outposts, and we love it. We do love how we get to see her in a battle. I would think it'd be quite boring if it was just her and Dane sitting in the outpost, or just her sitting in the outpost and Dane going to protect her, because, I mean, we love a protectful man. But it would be quite boring if it was just, "Look, dragons are flying by. There was fire. Ooh, wyvern are following them. Huh, there's a venom on that one's back." Like, that's so funny.
I I would agree. I also just think that that would be so much more anxiety inducing than going out there and potentially getting killed.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And then we also do find out that dragons can speak to griffins and vice versa.
Mhm.
And I remember when I first heard that, I was like, I am confused. I thought that, how can dragons and griffins talk? I was confused. And then, but they do bring up the point. They're like, well, how do you think that dragons and griffins communicated before humans got into our business? It's like,
Mhm.
how interesting.
But then not only that is bringing up the Battle of the Baron again when that was the last time Griffin and dragons were fighting alongside of each other. How were they able to coordinate so well, especially in their flight patterns, to overcome that?
Yeah. I think it'd be really interesting if we got like a little side novel of like the Battle of the Baron.
You never know.
It'd be interesting.
She might do it after the whole series like ends.
I wouldn't be surprised. Who knows? So I am so sorry. They spell griffins weird. And I need to acknowledge it because I've never seen, I would not pronounce that griffins if I didn't know that was griffins. I mean, I guess I would. Gryphons is maybe it, but it's griffins. Anyway, I just need to acknowledge that is not how I grew up spelling griffins, and I have mush brain, and mush brain don't compute. Anyway, so then, they're going on, this battle's happening, and then Soleil actually dies.
Mhm.
And, like, that's this, I guess Amber isn't, but like one of the first marked ones that has had more of a speaking role. Like, not much of it,
Mhm.
it is a side character, but a speaking role that dies. Not that Amber didn't, but Amber's in like 2 chapters.
But Soleil has been helping Violet adjust and train just as Imogen has been, and was also one of the first deaths that Violet experienced in a real battle.
Yeah. 'Cause all of the other deaths that they've experienced so far have been at the school, whether it's, in training the parapet, Professor Carr snapping that one kid's neck, flying, threshing, mats and stuff. Like, she's seen death before, but in battle, I feel like is a very different feeling than in training. It's just this realness that I feel like just hits. Not that it doesn't hit when training, because death is death. It's death no matter where you go. There's just like, oh yeah, this is a legit battle. Like, this isn't a simulation. This isn't war
Also,
games.
Exactly. This is not War Games, but the fact that it's in a battle with these quote unquote magical creatures that she had no idea existed until
An
it's
hour ago?
happening right now. Yeah. In
Yeah.
real time, discovering world changing knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah. And so Soleil does pass away, and she then sees Violet sees raw, like, and feels like raw power in the air. And she looks and she sees a venin, and all around the venin, flowers and like bushes and everything are wilting. The leaves are curling and they're just losing all of their color. And she's like, Taryn, like, what are they doing? And he's like, they're channeling because it kills everything. Like, it sucks up the magic of the world, and now things are dying. Yeah.
Yeah, they're
The
draining the
Baron,
earth.
because it's barren. I'm funny. Please acknowledge me.
I kind of think that was one of your better jokes, actually.
Thank you, thank
I
you,
was so stunned. I was like, Ashley, that was actually really clever. Wow.
thank you, thank you, thank you. I guarantee you I am not the first one to make it, but I am so happy that you find me funny.
It was good. That was very good.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So then they find out that Venom don't like lightning. And what do you know? We have a white lightning wielder that we're in the brain of. And but she can't aim. So she's just trying and trying and trying and trying to hit the flying, moving venom, flying, moving
Wyvern?
wyvern.
Wyvern?
Thank you.
Now that I know that these are wings and not arms, these are wings, but wing arms,
These are wings.
wing and arms,
Yes. Yes.
all
Exactly.
in
You
one
got
make
it.
wing arm.
Yes. 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 Exactly. Glad you got there. So then she's just struggling, and Taryn's like, "Come on, try again, try again." And we love the support of Taryn because he's always been supportive. I've literally never seen him not be supportive. And you know, they are going, and Liam ends up killing a venin, and the wyvern dies with it. So then they figure out, they're like, "Oh, they kind of." I don't know another way to say it, but they share a brain. So if one dies, the other dies. At least the wyvern, sorry, the venin. If the wyvern's writer and master dies, which would be the venin, then the wyvern will die. They share a brain. In quotes.
Okay, I am going to restate that because
Thank you, Kaylee.
just in case people didn't understand what Ashley was trying to say is that they killed other wyvern and the venom did not die. And then they killed a venom and realized that all of the wyvern that the venom made died. So if you kill the venom, all of the wyvern that they've made that are like, flying out, scattering around, will just drop dead when the wielder that is the venom dies.
Thank you, Kaylee, for wording that much better than I did.
Good job. Wow, Ashley, you're so good at explaining things. It's so, so good. Best
I'm gonna be a
explainer
great
ever.
nurse.
So good. The best.
So good. I'm the best.
Yeah, you are. You're just the best. It's so
And
good. So good.
and she so she's wielding and trying. Now she's aiming for the venom instead of the wyvern because she knows if she kills the venom, the wyvern is gonna die.
Mhm.
Inevitably, she's gonna hit a venom that kills at least one wyvern. and she's trying and trying, she's failing. She's kind of like, I don't have enough control. And Taryn is like, try again, keep trying, keep going. Like, you can do this. Just again, again. So then, they're flying around, and uh, as they're flying around, she sees Zayden out of the corner of her eye and yells for Zayden. And Sigale is kind of like, I got him. Pay attention to what you're doing. Stop it. Like, you need to pay attention to what you're doing because you're going to die. I have him. Taryn has you. You can't focus on each other. Stop. Now it's convenient for, like, hey, there's a, like, I'm going around the back. There's a wyvern. Lead them out to the front. That's fine. But you can't focus on each other in the sense of, oh my gosh, you're going to die. And Sigale very quickly said, don't do that. I got him.
Which I agree with because,
Yes.
not going to lie, if Sigale didn't say that, I 110% in my heart of hearts and fully deep in my soul and in my entire being knows that Violet would have gotten them killed in this first battle if she would have done it. If that
And
makes
I'm glad
sense.
that she listened. Yeah. And I'm glad that she listened
She
to
would have
what
killed
Sigale
all of
said,
them.
though. But I'm glad that she listened to Sigale and stopped after that.
Agree, because the moment that Sigale noticed that Violet's perspective started to shift, Zayden started to be like, is there something actually wrong with you? Do I need to drop everything and go? Or do I have time to save all of these people like we were here to do?
Yep. And then, as she did that, they're flying, and all of a sudden a wyvern drops from overhead of Violet and Taryn, drops from above them, and they look up and they're like, oh my god, I'm literally about to die. And Liam comes and like smashes into the wyvern. So now Day and the wyvern are in a battle, like, you know, clawing and biting each other. Fire.
That is right. They are fighting specifically like this. Very gentle
This
fighting, but
For
it
all
is
of the people that are
happening
just listening
just
and
like
not
this.
watching our video, Kaylee is just slapping her hands together and gently folding her fingers together and pulling them apart.
That's because that's what Ashley was doing first.
It was. It's true.
Anyway,
Are you making fun of me?
yes, I am. And I really enjoyed it. It's one of my favorite pastimes. Happens. I feel like every time we shoot the podcast, I'm like, ooh, wow.
Anytime we talk. What are you talking?
Well, here I get the physical comedy of it now.
It's true. There's a difference between the physical comedy and the vocal comedy. I'm a very
That's
big physical comedy person.
why I like it.
So then,
Day and this
you know,
wyvern are really going at it, and Day is severely injured and plummets to the ground, and Liam falls off of Day's back. Violet is panicked, and her and Taryn sweep down. They barely catch Liam, and she realizes that Liam is dying because Day is dying.
she
And
does openly admit, she's like, you know, there's not a scratch on Liam. There's not
mhm,
one scratch on him.
because Day really did protect him. And you see the bond that Liam and Violet have through this interaction, especially Violet knowing what's going on and trying to fix something that she can't even control. And Liam is making a couple last requests of her. Liam makes these last requests of Violet as he is clearly suffering, looks at Violet and says, "Because you are my friend, can you please take care of my sister?" The sister that Violet has never met, the sister that Liam hasn't seen in years and has been writing her letters throughout his year in the quadrant, has been thinking that Liam has been thinking of her and wanting to protect her. Violet is heartbroken. She believes that Liam deserves more, that Liam deserves to see his sister again, and she doesn't quite know what to do, and she like shouts down the bond and says to Zayden, "Liam needs you. We need you now." And Zayden turns off and comes to them, and as they're waiting for Zayden to come, Violet says that she says, "Thank you for being my shadow, and thank you for being my friend. Just thank you for everything that you've done." And Zayden arrives and is heartbroken, doesn't really know what to say, and is telling Liam to save like his last breath and his last like the last amount of energy, and Zayden carries him to Day's body, his dragon's body, so that they can die next to each other.
Yeah, and also the Violet is begging, or not begging, but like, Taryn, what can I do? Tell me what to do. Like, tell me, I don't know what to do.
And Taryn has no answer for her, has no
Because there's nothing she
advice.
can do.
Mhm.
She says the thanks for being my shadow. He says, "It's been my honor."
Sad. I was
So
actually
sad.
I was actually really sad when this scene happened, because I the first read around, um
You predicted it to a fucking T. And okay, so I need to set the stage. I'm on my way back from horseback riding. I have finished the book like a week ago.
Yes, that's true.
And we call every time I'm on my way back from horseback. We call all
Mhm.
the time, but I'm on my way back from horseback riding. And I'm like, Kaylee, have you read this goddamn book yet? She was reading it, mind you. But I was like, Kaylee, you need to finish this goddamn book. Please, what the fuck is taking you so long? And so then, you know, I then I call her again, and she's like, "This is what I think is going to happen. I think that Liam is going to die, and that will make Imogen and Violet get closer because now Violet needs another friend to fill Liam's shoes." Sitting here, already starting to read like the next book. I'm not getting into any spoilers, but I'm like, bro, to a T.
Also vividly remember telling Ashley, "Well, Liam has to die. Because if Liam doesn't die, I'm going to be sorely disappointed in this book. I'm going to be so
But I also
disappointed."
agree.
Everybody was like hyping like this series up, like, "Oh, she really does kill off her characters, and she really does like blah blah blah." And I was like thinking in my head, "Bitch, we're already on chapter like 36, and she hasn't killed off anybody that's actually like super important to Violet. And this is the only character that is not going to stop the arc. This is the only character that kind of makes sense. And if she doesn't do it, I'm going to be disappointed and upset." And she did it. And I was still like sad at the loss of Liam, because Liam has had such an impact on Violet and Violet's character, and I truly think that Liam made the most impression on her out of all of the marked ones, and Liam was the marked one that was close enough to her to show her that these that even though they are marked, they are not villains, they are not their parents. They have their own moral and righteous compass. They can make decisions on their own, and they are not dictated by the blatant racism around the college. So I don't know. I like it's one of
But I
those
do
things where it's like
agree, like continue.
N I was gonna say, it's funny as I'm sitting here smiling about this because I'm very sad, but I'm glad that she did it.
But I also agree, because
Like
it's like you said, the big thing about that we heard about this book was she's not afraid to kill off her characters. She's gonna kill off her characters. So you can't really like get attached, but don't get too attached because you don't know who she's gonna kill. You don't know who she's gonna kill off. And up to this point, there have been deaths, and I this had more death just surrounding in the plot, if that makes sense. Like, oh, like death was just there than any other fantasy book that I've read. Like it was just present. Like,
Mhm.
they'd read the death rolls, parapet, Jack snapping random people's heads, Professor Carr killing a student, not Nadine, who dies? What's her name? The one that falls off during Gauntlet, whatever, her.
I'm pretty sure that is Nadine.
Mm-mm. Nadine makes it to book two.
I don't
I
remember
think it
then.
starts with an O. But the person that dies, and death is
Orally.
just, it's orally, you're right, you're right, you're right. She, death is very apparent in the book, but we hadn't had a major character die up to this
Mhm,
point. And so it was like, oh, okay, so she is willing to kill off characters. So let's see how the rest of the series is going to go with how she's going to kind of play that. And I know I've heard rumors, but I won't get into those quite yet. I'm excited to see where book four goes, is all I will say.
mhm. But that
But
ends
I do agree that, really quick, so sorry, that this, so sorry. Oh, I do agree that this time around, my brain stopped. I read a note and went, ooh, a note. And then it's fine. Because I was reading, like, did we cover everything? We did. It's okay. So then I do agree that this time around did hit me a bit more, like sadness
mm,
wise.
mhm,
Because I also, the first time I read it, I was swept up in the scene. I was like, oh my gosh, we were right. I thought he was going to die. I knew it. Like, and you're swept up in the scene. There's a battle hot. It's the climax. Like, yes, obviously I was sad when he died. Yes, I was sad of all of this happening. But because it's the first time I'm reading it, I'm processing tons of information, And so, like, the second time reading it, also picking up on all of, like, the context clues and, like, all of the things that were leading up to it and everything like
mhm,
that. And also just knowing he's gonna die, so you're gonna pay more attention to him on your
mm.
read through. You know what I mean? I feel like
I
that's also just something that you do. And I'm just like, oh wow.
mhm,
Yeah, that made me a lot more sad than the first time around.
exactly, I was gonna
I'm not looking
follow.
forward to a little life.
That's different, okay? We're always gonna be looking forward to a little life, no matter how sad it gets, but
That's gonna hit so hard.
I will agree with you that Liam's death did hit harder the second time around because you were looking out for the little things that he did, picked up more of, like, his personality traits, and to see really how much Liam wore off on Violet and certain things that Violet now does that is gonna remind you of Liam. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
right before the chapter ends, they all are like, "Hey, and like Violet and Zane are kind of like, you need to keep going. I know this is hard. I know this is
Mhm,
terrible, but we are in a battle. We need to keep going. We can mourn. We can bury his body later. We need to keep going." So they get up back
mhm,
into the air. They put on their goggles, and she, is mounting very quickly. She gets up in the air, and pretty much as soon as they get up into the air, all of a sudden Violet feels a thud, and Taryn roars in pain because a venom,
mhm.
not a venom, a wyvern just like came at them from the
Grabbed
left
onto him. Yeah.
and grabbed onto him. And that's where the chapter ends. And so then going into chapter 37, very short but important beginning excerpt. But it was the third who sorry, already messed it up within the first four words. It's okay. But it was the third brother who commanded the sky to surrender its greatest power, who finally vanquished its jealous siblings at a great and terrible price. Interesting. I Interesting.
When we get
Stay
to
tuned
our
for our debrief. Stay
mhm.
tuned for the debrief. We will be diving into literally everything. That will have us
You
we will debrief non-spoiler and spoiler. So, stay tuned for that.
yes, the debrief, even when we were going over these chapters, I did mention this beginning excerpt to Ashley, and I think
I'm so
she
excited to talk about this more in depth.
enjoyed
I am biting my tongue.
I was like, I think she enjoyed where my thought process was going with that.
I really did. I really did. I'm so excited to talk. I want to talk about it more, and we can't until like 2 weeks from now.
I know. It'll be
That's
okay.
okay. It's 2 weeks, and it'll be so
Mhm,
entertaining because we will be yelling. It'll be great. But that brings us into chapter 37. And like we just said, Taryn just got like plummeted and stabbed with talons and fangs and is in pain.
mhm.
And Violet goes, "There's a venom on your back." And he's like, I can just imagine his thought process. Like, no shit. Why else would I be roaring? Thank you. Like,
Mhm,
I can just imagine. But he's in pain, so he's not gonna say that. But he does kind of say, "There's three more riderless ones on my back, on my tail."
mhm.
And so then this is the first time Violet is interacting with a venom. They speak. They are human, just corrupted humans. And so even the venom goes, "Aren't you a little small for a dragon rider?"
It's
And
interesting to
everybody is
see that her
everybody.
stature plays such a big role in how people perceive her, even the Venom.
Mhm.
And then the Venom follows up with, "You have such untapped power and potential. Just think if you turned onto our side where we could take you."
Yeah, and also like, no wonder we were called here.
Mhm.
And you could command the sky you can command the sky to surrender all of its power. I bet you don't even know what to do with it. Like, it's
Which
also so interesting how Venom can just sense that. They're like, "Oh, wow, like, you can literally just command this
Mhm.
entire sky. You don't even
Yes.
know that, do you?" I'm like, "That's kinda wild."
Mhm.
So, I just think it's very interesting. Interesting, and then there is the threats of like, "Oh, I'm gonna split you open and see where all that astonishing lightning comes from." It's like, "That's nice. Maybe we shouldn't be
S
splitting people open."
So intimidating, and she is pushing herself to the limit before they even had that interaction, and as she's leaving that interaction, the Venom does, as she's, fighting her like, fighting this venom and trying to get this venom off and not near her or Taryn. She does end up getting stabbed by a by one of the green daggers that the venom holds, and once they de lack of a better term, detach themselves from that interaction, you see Violet go even harder with her lightning as she just tries to basically rapid fire this lightning, and you see Taryn getting concerned and tells Violet, "You need to stop because I will not watch another rider die because they don't know their own limits."
Mhm. And, as they are battling, she is learning a lot. Like, the venom is kinda just talking, and,
Mhm.
like, "Oh, maybe I let him do it. You'll wish for death if I hand you over to my sage." So she learns, like, "Oh, there is a hierarchy when it comes to venom."
Mhm.
So they have teachers. And so she's learning more and more, kind of, like, trying to retain all this, but, she's, like, fighting. And so that's kinda hard, but she does kill her, and Taryn's like, "You're hurt." And she's like, "I'm fine." But not good because the dagger that she was stabbed with had poison on it.
Which she technically didn't know, but she can definitely feel it within her now as she's pushing herself to that limit.
And she, is like, "We need to kill the other riders. We need
Mhm.
to take,
Kill
like,
the other venom.
Yep, and Taryn's like, "That's a great idea. Excellent idea."
Mhm.
And Violet says, like, "Are you willing to gamble your life on it? Like, this is a life or death thing." And
Mhm.
he's like, "I will bet my life on you as I have from the first day." I just think that needed to be in here. I was like, "Wow,
Mhm.
that was a good quote."
I absolutely agree, and they do kill more of the venom, and as she's wielding, like, these last bits of lightning, you see how the chapter ends as she just lets gravity take her and she falls off of Taryn. And that's
Yep,
end of
and
chapter 37, which is crazy because yes, it was such a short chapter, but she learned so many details about the venom that she didn't have before.
yeah, and, like, Xaden is helping her fight, like, and she's like, "I need you to let down all the shadows because I'm
Mhm.
gonna boom and have lightning strike everybody." And so that's how they all do, you know, and it works. But, you know, as this is happening, Taryn is kind of explaining, like, "Hey, the generals can feel where the other generals are. They know where each other is, but then they don't know where their leadership is. And then you have to go to the head mage and, like, stage, and, like, really trying to understand this, like, hierarchy that they have while all fighting." And again, that's just a lot. And, as Violet's falling, Xaden does scream, like, her name, like, "Violet!" Like, but, like, actually, she does not go, "Violet!"
Are you sure? Are you sure that he doesn't go, Violet?
I mean, maybe from really far away, that's what he sounds like. And, the next chapter, chapter 38, opens with, "I think I might die today." And Taryn's roaring in panic, and Darna stops time again, so Taryn can catch her. And, she doesn't even know what's happening. She's like, "Oh, are there any wyvern left? Did I get them all?" Like, she doesn't know what's happening. And the now it is very evident that the dagger was poison, obviously. And, Xanon's like, "Hey, like, Violet, like, fuck, it's poison. You have to fight it. I'll take care of you. Just live. Like, please live." And he's like begging her, like, "You need to live." And then there's a time skip because she loses consciousness. And there's someone that says maybe it isn't poison. Someone says in a deep voice, maybe it's Garrick, maybe it's Bodhi. I can't tell. And I really wanted to talk about. I really like how the scene was written. It was very like, oh, like she is really disoriented because now we don't know who's talking.
Mhm.
Is it like how it was like I can't put my eyes open. Garrick maybe Bodhi. Gods, everything hurts. I don't know what's happening. Like I really
Mhm.
like how this scene was written. Like,
I
and
do
they're
think
all
that it just really goes to show how disorienting poison can be, and also how the fact that our narrator is delirious skews our point of view, that us as a reader does not have a fully omniscient point of view ever. We really only get a POV perspective. And I
especially as
also
first person.
mhm, I love that about this series, that we get to discover it as Violet discovers it, and not just as an omniscient reader knowing everything going on.
I feel like the first person very much benefited this series. I
Mhm.
feel like if it wasn't like omniscient point of view, it wouldn't have been as good.
I agree.
Yeah. And, in this chapter, like throughout that entire where she's delirious, she doesn't know what's happening. She just hears everybody going, okay, like, all the mark because she's with the mark ones, like everybody, Imogen, Garrick, Bodhi, Zayden, everyone is going like, okay, it has to be poison. What do we do? Where do we take her? Nolan? Do we take her to Nolan? He's a mender, and we need to take her to a mender. And, you know,
Will they
she's
actually
even
make
like,
it back in time to Nolan?
and so Zayden is like, that's a 12-hour flight, and her arm is broken. And even Violet does think, I'll be dead in 12 hours. And the
Mhm.
sweet smell of oblivion already hovers at the edge of my consciousness.
Love the imagery in this book. Not
Oh,
gonna lie about
yes.
it.
Can we hold on? It's very short. Hold on, hold on.
Mhm.
I'll be dead in 12 hours. The promise of sweet oblivion already hovers at the edge of my consciousness. A promise of peace if I agree to just let go. That's a
Love
great
it.
line. That's
So
a good
good.
line. And, and then she's just the describing of like, there's another fire that's just consuming me, stinging every nerve, but all I can do is lay there and take it. Wow. It's pretty accurate.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's a pretty accurate line. And, as she's listening and fading in and out of consciousness, like she hears Aiden go, "There's somewhere closer." And they're all kind of going, "Are you sure? Like, this'll change shit. Like, you can't be serious. You'll put everything at risk."
Mhm.
And Taryn bellows loudly and is like, and she's like, "I felt it in my rib cage. Like, I felt the vibration." And she goes, "At least he's close." I'm like, oh. And Imogen's like, maybe I wouldn't say that again. Or he'll probably eat you. And,
Valid.
Zayden is upset and is like, I don't give a fuck what happens to me. We are gonna go there and that's an order. And I do really like how Bodhi goes, there's no need for orders. We'll save her. It just kind of
Yeah.
shows how they all have his back.
Well, also not only that is they all have her back now too.
Mhm.
Before
Yeah.
the very beginning of the book, we see them plotting in the courtyard, and Violet overhears them being like, "Hey, we should definitely kill Violet Sorengale soon. Uh, can we do it now rather than later?" And now she's hearing this, she lives in a world where these people that wanted to kill her and didn't really know her have gotten to know her and are saying that there's no need for anybody to order them to help her or to try to save her. We will go. We will do it.
Mhm. Yeah. And she, was like, "Yes, we're gonna be going," and also she proved that she's with them too. She wouldn't have gone into
Mhm.
battle if she wasn't. And like you said, like the complete difference, and like Imogen literally snapping her arm because your mother killed my parents, you bitch. That was her first line.
Imogen was so hard. It's still so hardcore for that. I don't care. Imogen is really fucking hardcore, and I don't really care.
And she, you know, then all of a sudden she kind of gains a bit more consciousness and they're flying, and she's like, "Oh, like that's the cliffs of Draylor. How interesting." And then she is no longer conscious. And, but she does things. She's like, "I don't even know what's been used on me until a few hours ago. I didn't even know venom existed." Like, still
Mhm.
acknowledging, like, my life is just turned upside down. I don't know what's happening. I am confused, but it's fine. I guess I will just die because I've been poisoned.
Mhm. It's also so interesting. She does openly say it that it feels weird for her to be dying by poison because she has made such a point out of the last year to become such a poison master. She's worked with poison this entire year, and she openly acknowledges that it's hard enough to, like, cure poison when you know what it is, and it's even harder to cure it if you don't know what it is. And for her to be a poison master, she's really it it is shocking to her that this is technically the way that she really might die.
And, then she continuously saying, "Is like, I wish they would just let me die. I am in so much pain. Like, death
Mhm,
would be preferable to existing for another second in this body. But apparently it's a mercy I'm not allowed as I'm jostled away." She is just, wow. And Imogen's like, "Are you sure about this?" And everyone's like, "Stop asking him that." And he's made his decision, support him or get the fuck out. And then it does go like, it's a bad one, another man retorts. And then Bodhi does say like, "Oh, when you have 107 scars on your back, then you get to make all the fucking decisions." Which very
I
valid
was like,
comebacks.
"So valid. So, so valid."
So valid. And Taryn roars and is like very excited, and then not excited, very upset. Obviously, Violet is dying. And it was like basically he said if I fail, he'll just cook me alive. It's fine.
Mhm. No
And
pressure, guys.
she no pressure, you guys. It's fine. And she does say like she could feel the bond between her and Zayden, and she's like, "My cheek falls against his shoulder, and I swear I feel him brush a kiss over my forehead, but that can't be right. You don't keep secrets from someone you care about, let alone secrets that are going to cost me my life at any second if the stuttering beat of my heart is any indication."
Also
And
very
again, she just
valid.
says, "I very valid. Yes, I agree." And then "I just wish you would let me die." Like she very much is not wanting this. And again, someone says Zayden, and she's like, a familiar voice calls out, but I can't place it. Bodhi, Garrick, one of the second years. So many strangers, no friends, and you have to save her. And that leads us into chapter 39. But again, I do want to acknowledge I really like how that chapter was written. Like, my second time
Mhm.
through, I did not appreciate it the first time I went through. The second time, I really appreciated that. I did. Anyway.
I would agree.
And
I liked the way that it was able to set up how she was feeling after the battle, and that it wasn't like the last time when she killed Jack. It was more controlled, more calm, more from a place of delirium that a lot more people see in a real battlefield than just in training or just in a simulation.
yeah, and, you know, that leads us into 20 or sorry, 39, and this is the shortest first of all, last chapter, look at us go. I
I
thought
know,
Kaylee
last
get really
chapter.
excited. I know.
Crazy.
Can't believe it. Yeah, I just moved my back so badly, don't do that. And we need to say the beginning excerpt for the last chapter because I feel like obligation, and also it is the shortest beginning excerpt of all of the chapters in any book, I believe. And it is "You're all cowards." The last words of Fen Ryerson redacted.
Valid.
Very valid. And this chapter is actually in Zayden's POV, which when I first so we listen to the audiobook version. And I just need to acknowledge something. So we listened to the audiobook version, and they changed the narrator to
Mhm.
a guy, and
A male's voice,
it
yes.
started like, yes, a man's voice. And the narrator before this has been like, changing her voice. You could very much
Yep.
tell male, female, different characters apart, but they did a different voice actor that was male for Zayden's voice. And it just started that you're all cowards. And I audibly went, "Oh my gosh, Zayden!" Like audibly, Zayden? And then and then uh Kaylee tells me she did the exact same thing. And then I see a video on TikTok, and it's this guy listening to the audiobook, not the graphic
Mhm.
audio, just the audiobook that we listened to. And it's him just reacting to it, and he did the exact same thing. "This is Zayden!" And I swear to God, that's exactly what I said, and I was like, "I'm so glad this is a universal experience." 'Cause I was not expecting it in the
Mhm.
slightest.
I was not expecting it, especially because I when you buy, like, an unabridged version of a book, normally there's only one narrator on it, so I didn't even look to see how many narrators were noted on the book. But then not only that, I only I find it kind of funny. Ashley has not read or listened to the books, so she didn't know when I was like, that is the same narrator as the Haunting Adeline series, which is like a very, very like,
Yes.
yeah. I I think I was just shocked about that part more than anything. It which if you don't know what Haunting Adeline is, it's a extremely dark, dark romance book. Uh that's all I'm gonna say about that. It's a very dark romance book, and I just wasn't expecting that to be the narrator that they chose for Xaden, but I do like his voice for Xaden. I think he did a good job. Is very good.
He did do a good job. I really was not expecting so I just wanted to double check that it was the
Yep,
same because
I
I
was
switched the
gonna
headphones.
say, please do that. I noticed.
But I really did not expect that the voice I just
Mhm,
did not I was not ready for it. So this is from Zayn's POV, as we have been saying,
mhm,
and I really like this chapter for multiple reasons, but we gotta hear Sigale. And we actually gotta have a chapter with Sigale as the main dragon and not Terran. I love her so much. This dragon has such a warm place and like special place in my heart. And I love her. And I'm really happy that, we get Zayden POV in the bonus chapters. And I'm so happy we get those because we get more of Sigale.
Hmm.
And, the first line is Sigale actually, and it's she'll be all right. Sigale's voice is gentler than she's ever designed it to be used with. She's never used that voice.
Hmm.
And so, like,
I
Sigale, she's described as ruthless, deadly, all of these things. And she's being so calm and gentle because she knows Zayden is horrified because Violet is literally fucking dying.
Mhm.
And also, he openly admits she chose me for the scars on my back and the simple fact that I am the grandson of her second writer, the one who didn't make it through the quadrant.
Which crazy that like those like trying to formulate this thought a little bit better. It's crazy to me that she chose a writer off of not only the loyalty, the resilience, and the ruthfulness that and the ruthlessness that Zayden
The rooster.
provided. I know that Zayden provided her, but the fact that so interesting that is Zayden is the grandson of her second writer that didn't make it through the quadrant.
Yeah. And it is really interesting how, like you said, like she was waiting for that.
Mhm.
It's interesting. And also, and then as it gets going, he admits she's like, wow, so sorry. He admits and he's like, she's never looked frail to me, but she does now because her lips are chapped and paled. The end of her hair is duller than usual. And for 3 days, she's not done anything. She's just been lying there, like lifeless. Life is leeching. Like, there's nothing there. She's just lying there. And it's been 3 days. I would also be quite anxious if I was in this situation.
Mhm.
He's beating himself up over this, and we see Zayden as, like as Violet said, like this cool stature.
I'm sorry, can you
This
repeat
cool
the whole
persona.
sentence?
We see Zayden with this like cool, calm persona, or like with Zayden with Violet when they're fucking undone. I guess I don't know. I'm gonna just keep going. I don't want to acknowledge that anymore. So then, but then like I broke Haley. But then being in Zayden's head and his mind space and hearing all of his thoughts, like it's really interesting to hear like there's a lot of self-hatred in this man's head.
Mhm. He has a lot of
Like he is
self-hatred and a
very
lot of anxiety. He's a very fearful person that you don't actually ever get to see on the outside.
and it's really fun to get into his head and see this and kind of see, oh, they're both him, just differently.
Mhm.
The calm persona is him. The undone persona is him. Because he is an anxious little ball of anxious anxiety. But he plays it off well and the self-hatred. The self-hatred was actually like it did dawn. I was like, wow, like this man really does kind of hate himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And you also hear Taryn getting mad at him, like, you should have told her about the Venom. I waited for you to impart the information and now she's suffering. Like, so there's not just Zayden's self-hatred about not telling her, not leaving her at Besgaiath, because that wouldn't have happened. But also
Mhm.
him going, but I'm selfish because I wanted her here. and I still kind of want her here so now she knows everything, and I didn't have to tell her. She kind of found out, and like the truth kind of just literally just fell in her lap. Like, so
Which
he's
is not
happy
the
that
way
she
he
went.
wanted it to go.
No, no, it is not. But he's like, I'm happy she was there because I want her with me. I want her to experience these things, but also I don't want her to experience these things. She would have been safer at Besgaiath. I also didn't know this was gonna. Well, actually, I guess they did know that this was gonna happen. Roughly, they didn't know for a fact.
They had their suspicions, but they also didn't think that it was going to be that bad. I don't think that they really thought that they were going to be sacrificed to the venom. I think what they thought was going to happen was going to be them defending a post from Griffin Riders, if that, you know, or
Yeah.
their dragons being captured and killed, if that makes sense. Not if literally fighting a whole garrison of venom.
And as it goes on, it's just him also toying with the. And we've heard it from Violet's perspective of like, she can't die, not because there's a chance I won't live, it's just because I can't live without her. And somewhere between like the shock of our attraction at the top of the parapet, because there was that like, oh wow, this man is hot. And him also going, wow, she's also hot. And somewhere between that and then her risking her life for giving up a boot for someone else on the parapet the first day, to her throwing the daggers at my head under the oak tree, I wavered. I should have realized the danger of getting too close the first time I put her on her back and showed her how easily she could kill me. On the mat, a vulnerability I've never allowed anyone else. But when I brushed it off as an undeniable attraction to a uniquely beautiful woman, when I watched her conquer the gauntlet, then defend Andarna at threshing, I stumbled, stunned by both her cunning and her sense of honor. And when I burst into a room and found Orin's treacherous hand at her throat, the rage that made it so easy to kill all 6 of them without batting an eye should have told me that I was headed for the cliff. And when she smiled at me after mastering her shield in mere minutes, her face lighting up as the snow fell around her, I fucking fell.
I loved that he realized that he fell for her before they had even kissed or really been nice to each other.
Yeah.
That
And
it
it
was
wasn't because she was strong or because of any of these things. It was
Mhm,
because she was proud of herself and she was happy.
mhm, and her character, that she was able to stand on that business and fight for what she believed in, even if she was going to die.
Yeah. And like it even does say, we hadn't even kissed and I fell.
Mhm.
Which I really like how like that was worded. And I think I know that you don't like when Violet is talking about how in love she is with Xaden. I thought that was cute. Like that paragraph was really cute.
It was bleh. It was very cute, but also bleh.
You don't like
I think
love. I like this stuff. It's kind of fun.
no, it's listen, well, first of all, number 1, I love love. I am like a hopeless romantic type of person, but
You are a
also
hopeless romantic. I
at
I
this
apologize.
yeah, I was like, "What do you mean? I am a hopeless
You're
romantic. Don't
Ashley.
I just like realistic hopeless romanticism." Um, I I did think like that whole sentiment was very sweet and very cute, especially because the whole book was in Violet's perspective. You didn't get to see actually when Xaden's brain really flipped, when he started to actually fall for her. You didn't see it happen because of the cool, calm, collective composure that he has shown outwardly everybody else as well. So it makes sense why Violet wouldn't know how he's feeling or what's going on in his head, because he doesn't want people to see that. And I think that it also comes from the idea of if you do love somebody, I'm going to say this, and I'm not saying this like as a perspective from a man, but if you love somebody in a like a war type of setting and know that you have enemies that are like quote unquote your higher ups or even like the actual king himself thinks of you as a threat, you're going to try your hardest to not put anybody that you love or care about in harm's way. And I think this is one of those ideas of love can be considered a massive weakness, not only, a massive weakness in the fact of they could try to exploit her, they could try to hurt her just to get at him. And I think that's something that he's always been scared of. But it is cute to see him express himself finally.
In his own head.
N- Yeah, now, well, to Segale. First of all, he's talking to Segale.
He's just no. He's just thinking. This is his inner thoughts. He was
Oh,
just
well,
thinking
I
this.
love
He's not
that.
telling this to
Well,
anybody.
I like that he
So
knows,
sorry.
though.
Well worded man. Well worded thoughts for a man.
Oh, that goes into the idea of Zayn was written by a woman for women,
Absolutely.
period. Period. That's it.
And
End
then
of the story.
and also I do like how if we think back to after he Montserrat and they fly and they're waiting to hear if Mira's alive, when
Mhm.
she's asking him, well, when did it shift? Like what changed? I don't know because you're not telling me anything. I don't even know what age you are. When's your birthday? And like that
Mhm.
whole scene, he's like, I don't know when it was. Maybe it's when Orin was holding the knife at your throat. Like that whole chunk when he was expressing himself that way. But I like him going, I don't know what it was, but it just did. And now we do hear the his fully in-depth thoughts about that and just bringing that back up more in depth and him definitively going, no, it was when she was proud of herself and happy and smiling.
Mhm.
Then after that whole thing, he goes back into beating himself up of, why didn't I tell her? She's laying in my bed that I wanted her to come sleep in peacefully for months. Not of her own free will, not because I told her, because she's literally dying.
And I think that really does show the human side of them about not knowing when is the right time to tell somebody a really hard truth.
And
I
he,
also
is going through the like all the whys. Like, is it because it's a Sorringale? Is it because of Atos? Is it because
Mhm.
I was scared to give her all the power she had over me, even though she already held it all?
I think that's really where it lies. I don't think that it mattered to him that she was a Sorengale. I don't think it mattered to him what the fuck Atos was doing. I think it would I think what mattered to him was the idea that he would be relinquishing control over himself to somebody else. And that was what was truly scary. But that's also
Yeah,
what's
and it's
truly
like,
scary about being in a relationship in general.
yes, I agree. And it's also like it has been stated multiple times throughout this book. He has not been in love. He has not had love. He's not received
Mhm.
love. He has not been in love. He like caring for keeping somebody alive and caring for them is the same thing.
Which is crazy because as women, we know that that is not how that works, but also
His brain, that is how it works. But also, I guess
I
it's
like
the
that she sprinkled that
I
in.
keep yeah, but it's also like in his situation, he cares for all of the marked ones because
Mhm.
they all know the truth. He's gonna care for all of them, and that's keeping them alive. That's what he's had to do. Like
Mhm.
I guess it is a little bit different, but it is very interesting, and I do like that she put that in. Violet wakes up. Violet is alive, and she wakes up, and and she she's alive,
Sorry.
and
Little Frankenstein
she
reference.
no, that was a great Frankenstein reference. You're good
Thank
job,
you.
good job, good
Sorry.
job, good job.
I know.
And so she wakes up, and he's like, "Oh, like, can I check your side? How are you feeling? Are you okay?" Like, really
Mhm.
attentive and there and trying to be really caring and thoughtful and taking care of her. And she doesn't remember. Like, she doesn't remember what happened.
Mhm.
Which, when I read this for the first time, I literally went, "What do you mean?" Like, I was so mad about it. I was like, "What do you mean she doesn't remember? We just went through all of this, and if I have to go through all of this again, I will be upset." I was really upset about it.
It's because the poison may have long-lasting effects and affect her memory because it literally ate part of her fucking brain, Ashley. But also
Yeah.
the effects of recovery. The recovery process can take long, so she may regain her memory soon after.
Yeah. And, he's checking her over and he's making sure she's okay, and he goes, "Miraculous." Like, just, wow, like, you are miraculous, but he just says miraculous, and I needed to throw this in here because she goes, "What's miraculous?" And he goes, "Shit, I would have been a horrible healer." Really liked that. Anyway, so sorry. And, you know, you are like, he kinda I was fucking terrified, and she's like, "I'm fine." Like, I am confused on why you are so upset about this because I don't know
Mhm.
what happened. And, he is, like, kinda confessing, is like, "I thought I was gonna lose you," and he's like, "Oh, well, like, I'd kiss her forever if I thought it meant the coming argument." He knows they're about to argue. He's like, "I'd kiss her if it meant keeping the argument at bay, but I don't wanna use that." And
I know.
he won
I'm
I
gonna say
know,
it. That
and
was really that was really conscious of him to be aware of where she actually was before she didn't remember things and to give her the opportunity to acknowledge what happened now that they're in a calmer place and for her to feel her feelings and express her feelings and even if they haven't changed for her to have those feelings and hold space for her to do that
yeah.
is very
I do like how it wasn't
admirable.
a yes, I agree. I agree, and it was just I wanna kiss her, but I know this argument's gonna happen. We have to get through that.
Mhm.
Hopefully, it'll be okay, but I'm not gonna kiss her because she doesn't remember what happened. I don't wanna just pretend it didn't happen. Like, I really do respect that. And I do
Mhm.
like how he goes like, uh, "God's I'd kiss her forever if it thought it meant the coming argument at bay. Keep us in this one pristine moment where I can actually believe that everything might be alright between us, and I haven't irreversibly fucked up the best thing that's ever happened to me." Again, the self-hatred in this man.
But also no, I'm not gonna lie about it. He should feel guilty about not telling her and not giving her the choice and waiting until, like, the last second
Absolutely.
to tell her because he openly acknowledges it in this chapter that if I would have told her sooner, if I would have been less of a coward and really trusted her, I don't know if we would actually be in the situation today. And the fact that he acknowledges that is good, but at the same time, I don't know, I feel like something I always say as well, it really is true, hindsight is 2020, but it's what you do before your vision is 2020 that really matters.
Yeah, I agree.
So, I do think that the self-hatred is slightly deserved when it comes to this case. Yes, I
I
do.
agree. No, I agree. I agree. I
Mhm.
agree. But I do think the self-hatred was written.
Yes.
Like, it was just written out like the constant, like, why the fuck did I do that? That was so dumb.
Mhm.
Deserved. But it was written well. And, he's like, I'll make it up for you. Like, oh, so then, he's still kind of, you know, processing as she's processing. And he goes, I'll make it up to you. I'm not saying we won't fight or you won't want to throw those daggers at me when I'm inevitably an ass, but I swear I'll always strive to do
I know.
better. That's all we could really ask for. As long as you're not like an absolute asshole.
I
You know
do
what I mean? Like,
enjoy.
just strive to be better than you were the
Mhm.
day before.
Exactly. I like that he
We're all
acknowledges
human.
it.
We make mistakes.
Mhm. And says, "I'm going to put my best foot forward and not make these mistakes in the future."
Yeah. And she asks, he's like, make what up to me? Because she doesn't remember. And he's like, oh, like, has she lost her memories? What is happening? Like, how much do you remember? And then all of a sudden, there's just a shift. Her eyes flare and they glaze. And he goes, I felt my stomach sunk because I knew that it just shifted. And
Because she did remember.
she She remembered, and, he's like, "Hey, don't panic. Everything is fine." And Darna isn't the same, but she's fine. And he goes, "She's fucking huge now." But I'm not gonna say that to Violet. Not right now. In
No.
a few couple minutes. She doesn't need to know that she's huge now because she's been sleeping.
Yeah. Also, I agree, sir. That seems like you and your dragon thing, not me and a you thing.
Yeah, it's like, "That is not my issue. You can deal with that with other people. I have my
Mhm.
own things to deal with you."
Exactly.
And, then he kinda says, like, "Hey, like, we don't know what the lasting effects are. The healer said that we can just figure them out kinda as time goes on."
Mhm.
So then, it's like, "Hey, no one really knows what happened, how long it'll take for you to get all of your memories back, if there's lasting damage, but we'll figure it out. Like, it'll be okay." Ouch. And, he she asks him, like, the first thing she asks him because she looks out the window. She gets up and looks out the window and is like, "What? I'm so sorry, the sunset is gorgeous." And she looks out the window and is like, "Where are we? And don't you dare lie to me again." He kinda asks, like, "You remember?" And she's like, "I remember." And he and she's like, "Where are we? Say it." 'Cause she knows where she is. She's
Mhm.
smart. She's like
Yeah.
she was training to be a scribe.
She's read about the architecture and everything about even this castle that she's living in, and he openly says, "We are in Aracia, and we have been rebuilding."
Yeah, because it's the way you're looking at me tells me you already know. Like, there's no
Mhm.
way this brilliant woman doesn't recognize that temp
Yeah. Because which temple is that dedicated to? Amari?
I wanna say Dune, but I don't think Dune is right. Continue as I look.
They're in Aracia, and he's keeps saying, "I know that things are going to be very complicated and that you're still trying to adjust." And he does end up giving her in the room a the last wooden carving that Liam ever carved, which is a wooden carving of Andarna. And
Ah,
that
so sad now she has
hits
both of
her
them.
again, hits her all again, and she's upset about how, like, she's upset that she is reliving that moment because Liam to Violet was such a loving part of her life.
Yeah. And like even her, she's like, it's my fault. And he's like, no, it is not your fault.
Mhm.
Don't blame yourself for that. He's like, and Zayden does go, no, it was my fault. If I had just told you everything sooner, you would have been prepared and you probably would have schooled us all on how to kill them.
Mhm.
He openly admits it.
Which is very true because the fact that she was able to throw out so much knowledge by purely not even knowing the situation, just on the fly, like, oh, okay, if these are real, then this might happen. Like, if this is real, like, this could be a consequence of this. And they actually talk about a little bit more of the architecture, like the architecture of the building and how they were rebuilding it. And she called it something else, or he, he I'm forgetting what the marked ones call the rebellion,
Oh,
but
we wrote it down too. I just
I
don't
want to
remember what
call it like the
chapter. Liam says it.
apotheoses. The
Yes,
apotheoses.
that's it. Yes, yes, yes.
There it
Yep.
is.
Look at
And
you!
I
Also, you were correct as well. It's dedicated to Amari.
oh, wow, look at
2 for 2.
me. Crazy.
Round of applause.
Mhm. It's Zayden openly says that it's funny how people rename things because it makes them feel uncomfortable. Because he mentioned, oh, at the apotheoses, this was burned down. And he says that they called it the rebellion. And it's funny how they renamed it from what the original people wanted it to be named because it made them feel uncomfortable. So a little bit
Yeah, I
tidbit
do find
there
it
of
interesting.
Navarian history. And he openly says, Violet, it seems like you're in the revolution now.
Because she kicks him out of his own room, which I find quite funny. And he
Love
does
it.
say, kicking me out of my own room. That's a new one. And, he gets out. And she's not really in the mood for his sarcastic ass, but it's okay.
Mhm,
And, he speaks with Garrick and Bodhi outside and it's like, they're like, she's gonna have to choose. Like, she's either in or she's not.
mhm.
That's the options. And you have to figure out what to do if she's not.
Yeah,
And
that
also,
is Zane's job
and al-
for sure.
yep. And also, you have to teach her how to make sure Atos doesn't get this.
Mhm.
Because my lovely Dane, I do not think would handle this well. He would think that Violet will be in a lot of trouble and try to protect her because he just loves her so much. My lovely Dane, but
Mhm.
he
Or it
would not
could
handle
just
this
be
well.
the fact that Dane's a little bitch.
And
It could be that. It
he's
just could be
lovely.
that.
Don't lie to yourself.
Yeah.
Don't lie to yourself. You know he's lovely.
Mhm, mhm, mhm. Mm, 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 mm,
And,
mm.
he. And then, so they do talk, and he's like,
He gives her the option. Are you in
he
this or are
gives her
you
the
not?
options. Yeah, he's like, I never, blah, 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 blah. He's like, oh, I don't want to do this now, but I do need to know at least, are you in or are you out? That's all I
Mhm,
need to know right now, and we could talk about the rest later. Because Violet, he tries to apologize, and Violet's like, that's not happening right now. And he's like, okay, that's not happening, but I do need to know if you're in or you're out.
mhm.
And he, and she goes, I am in. But that doesn't change where me and you are. we need to work ourselves back up. Like,
I
that was not
agree.
okay. And she does even say, she's like, just because I believe you and I'm willing to fight with you doesn't mean I'll trust you with my heart again. I can't be with someone that I don't trust. And then he says, I never lied to you,
Valid.
not once, and I never will. I hid it. I hid things, but it wasn't a blatant lie. And she was like, it's not even that you kept it from me. I get it. It's the ease at which you did it. The ease at which I let you into my heart and didn't get the same in return.
It's what okay. I have a whole statement about this
Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready.
because I just find that it like the way that she described it is slightly like hypocritical. Do what I think that he did was wrong. Absolutely, you should never lie to your partner, and I think that that is wrong because you hiding it or lying but by omission is really fucked up. It doesn't matter if you intentionally did it
Yes.
or didn't unintentionally did it. But the way that she is like, "Oh, the fact that like I fell so hard for you and I let you have my heart and you didn't let me in and you didn't do this and you didn't do that." I'm just like, "Did you I think that he did, though. I think that he did let
He
her
did it in his
in
own way.
and did it in his own way, which, don't get me wrong, means really bad at communicating. He is. He's bad at communication, and it's chill. It's chill, but it's not chill because we all know that it's not
Yes.
actually chill. But also at the same time, I do just I find how she is just so hot and cold with him very like a very interesting characteristic that she has because he didn't ask her to fall for him that hard that quickly. He didn't ask for that, but she did it because she wanted to. And at the end of the day, she needs to acknowledge about the relationship is two ways and not just one-sided. End of the story. That's it. That's all I have to say about it. Okay, thank
I
you for
agree.
letting me rant
I do
about
agree
it.
with that. You're welcome. And but I did like how she did say, it's not that you kept it from me. I understand it. It's the ease of what you kept it from me. And I think how that can make someone like uneasy. Like,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? Like the
Yes.
ease of
I
keeping something
think
like that. Like, think of like all the small things. She's like, if it's something this big that you could keep so easily, at least from her point of view, that you kept so easily from me, what are you going to do about tons of small things? What are you going to, if you can keep something that big,
mhm.
you can keep so many little things. And so I do understand her perspective of that, but I do agree with you in the sense of, ma'am, it is a two-way street. Like, he did let you
Yes.
in. It's just, he did. And we see that in this chapter, obviously.
Yeah.
And, but I do like how he does go like, I love her. Of course I love her. But if I tell her now, she'll think I'm saying it for all the wrong reasons. And honestly, she'd be right.
I also just love the fact that, yes, sir, you're right. There is a time and a place, and this was not the time nor the place to do it. So thank you. We
Yes.
all
Yes.
appreciate that of you.
Yeah.
And it's just so interesting how they're having like such a serious talk and like the she's asking like more questions about the rebellion and then just who walks in to answer the question.
Yeah. And I do love, before that, I do love how he, there's knocks at the door multiple times as they're having this conversation. And
Mhm.
Zane goes, fuck, he is impatient. And you have about 20 seconds to ask a question if I know him. Like, he is so impatient. And he, is like that. Oh, and so then, she's continually asking questions. And do you think there's any chance that we happen to just end in the middle of a wyvern attack? Like, they didn't send us there. Like, it was just pure accident. Like, just kind of confirming again, okay, is the government really as corrupt as they're saying? Like, or did we just happen, like, just that one last reassurance of, do you think it just happened to be that way, or did we actually get sent there? And then, the knocks stop and someone walks in, like Kaylee said, and that definitely wasn't an accident, little sister. And Xaden goes, I told you I knew better poison masters. You weren't healed, you were mended. And she goes, Brennan, and Brennan is standing there and is grinning with open arms and says, Welcome to the revolution. And that's where the book ends.
Mhm.
We
Which
did it.
yes, we did it. We absolutely did it. Um, please come back for the next 2 weeks for our debrief and the POV chapters. We're most likely going to do the POV chapters first, and then we'll do the debrief, but I don't know. Half of me wants
But
to
you were about to
convince
say something about
Ashley.
Brennan's.
Oh, I was going to try to convince Ashley that maybe we should do the debrief first because I'm just more excited about the debrief, but it's okay. The POV chapters have slight sway in the debrief, possibly. So
They do. They sadly
it
do.
it'll be okay. It'll be fine.
I'm
I
also
can
excited for the
wait.
debrief.
Uh,
We can wait. It's one more week,
I know.
and
I
then
was
we
just
can
about to
be
say that
so excited.
Ashley and I both, within our first read through, both did predict that Brennan was going to be alive and that he was going to come at the end of this book. Uh, it was
And I would.
interesting. It, it's going to be interesting when we do the debrief, especially when we talk about when we thought or why we thought that this was going to occur and when we thought in like that first book when we kind of got the idea that it was going to come back, that he was going to come back and be a part of the series. So I'm
Yeah.
very excited to talk
Yes, I
about
agree.
that.
And I think, yes, so am I.
Hmm.
And I just want to say, I know we said it throughout this entire podcast. The narrator did such a good job, especially in these last chapters.
I agree. She really did. She really
Through
built it.
Liam's death.
Oh, I will admit, re-listening to Liam's death, I was like, wow, she really she did a great the first pass through. I thought that she did a phenomenal job and it was really good. But this second pass through, I was like, I don't think we gave her enough credit of how well
I don't think
she's
we did either.
narrating the series because phenomenal, absolutely amazing. I
Phenomenal.
loved
And I'm
every
so
second
happy
of
she's
it.
doing the entire series. Like, I really
Mhm.
think I would have had such a sad time if she did not finish this series off.
I agree, but I'm
But
glad
she
that
did such a
she's.
phenomenal job.
Mhm.
I'm so glad. What's her name again?
I think it's Natalie Naudus
I'm gonna double check because
because
I want to shout her because she did such a
I
great job.
think that she also does
She did
the.
Lunar Chronicles.
There it is. I was like, she also did that one because I also mentioned that to Ashley, um, because I was like, oh, there's only one like book series that I've listened to her that she did, and I don't know if she did that book series like in her earlier career or if or I mean, I'm gonna say there is a difference of reading like young adult fantasy comparatively to adult fantasy. And so it's not that I don't think that she did a great job in that series. I just think that I liked this book more because it's an adult series, not a young adult series.
Any
And she was able
young
to give a
or
lot
not that
more to
young
this
adult.
performance.
Yeah, but it's not that young adult can't have hard themes and like fun books. I've read some fun
Absolutely.
YA books,
Mhm.
but adult books can get heavier and like again, like I know I've mentioned it, the banter of this book. Like there's tons of cursing in it that you can't do in a YA. You can't hit
Yeah.
that same level of banter that this book hit in a
Mhm.
YA. And I would say narrator that we were talking about is Rebecca Solar, and the
Mm,
guy that did it is Teddy Hamilton for Xaden.
yeah, Teddy
And
Hamilton.
they both did a great job.
Yes,
They both did a great job. We were mainly talking about Rebecca Solar, but Teddy also did a good job. But
yes.
again, like Liam's death scene, like you said, like I really didn't give her enough credit for that scene. She really just the whole book, but she did a great job. And
Really.
I wanted to say, I really wanted to put that at the end,
Mhm.
and then also Rebecca Yarros, obviously the author of this series. Also, this was a very well written book. I really enjoyed it.
I did too. It was very good. It's very well done, and it did have more of an exciting flavor than other books that we've read within this genre.
Yeah, and like how I've kind of been saying it to people is I never really go into books expecting them to be a masterpiece. And how I describe this is to me, at least to me, Fourth Wing is not a masterpiece. It is a fantasy, romantasy novel. Just have fun with it. I like the world, I like the characters, I like the dragons, and I want to know what happens in it, and I have a fun time hanging out with the characters.
I would absolutely agree. I think that this as a adult fantasy is very good. I think that the world that we're seeing built is very interesting. I am excited to see where the series goes. I also think that, like I said previously, this is just a little bit more seasoned throughout, even like within like language banter and like war and death and all of that. I think it's very well seasoned throughout the whole book. And it's not just one like immediate, we're like, flatlining for like a really, really long time. And then all of a sudden we go up and then we just immediately dip down. And there's not like we're going up, we're going up, we're going up, we're hitting the top. And then we're kind of going to write it out a little bit more. And then we're going to gradually go down. Which I liked that there was a lot more of like the ups and downs, and the flow of the book was really nice.
I agree with that, and it was very fast paced. Like it was
Hmm.
for the most part a very very fast paced book, and I enjoy that. I like you said, it was very well seasoned, and like even like with the slow chapters, there's still a lot going on. Whether it was the character banter and like stuff like that, like it was still very well seasoned, like you said.
Yeah. But that is the end of our book. And thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Please like and subscribe, do all of the things, and make sure you come back for the POV chapters and uh the
Make sure you comment down below what you thought of the first book at that, or sorry, of Fourth Wing,
Mhm.
and like she said, come back for the POVs and our debrief, and then after those, so two more episodes of this book technically, because we're doing the POV and
Mhm.
then the debrief, and then so in 3 weeks we're going to be starting Iron Flame. So make sure you come back for that for book 2 of the Empyrean series.
Yay! The last thing that we have to ask is, well, what did the void say to you?